Welcome to Sensible Health Solutions, the show where we simplify health and wellness. Join your hosts, Hallie Fields and Dr. Scott Luper, as they share practical tips and expert insight to help you navigate common ailments, nutrition, and overall well-being. Tune in for straightforward advice that empowers you to live a healthier life.
Good morning, Dr. Luper.
Good morning, Hallie.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Super good.
Good.
It's 40 below again.
Oh, it's only 25. But it feels like 40.
Down at my house, it was...
Was it?
Well, I exaggerate. It's 39 below at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like a depression right there and next to the river.
Life in the north.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about dog mushing on the radio, and the dog mushers hit 63 below.
Yep.
Along their trail.
Yeah. I talked to a patient who came in from Toke, and during that cold snap, the coldest he saw was 70 below.
Yep. Life in the north.
Yeah. It's a hard winter, and a
Crisp.
lot of us are feeling it in several different ways. One of those ways is pain. So...
Yeah, it's interesting. The weather a lot of times will get pain going. People, in the old days, they get rheumatism. Their rheumatism would act up when the weather got cold or when it got rainy or when it got stormy or something like that. They get some feedback. Some people almost like a weather station in their body because they could tell what was going on based on the symptoms they're getting from their...
barometric pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like people get headaches, they have sensitivity to that, their joints start
you're
aching.
right. So we did a show last week on the utility of symptoms and how the instinct as a human being is to shut them down because they're uncomfortable. Pain is a great example. We'll talk more about that here in a moment, but fever was the example we used. And then we also talked about depression as being another symptom that, oddly enough, has utility to it. Now, before we talk about pain, let me remind our viewers what we talked about last week to kind of catch everybody up. And the point is that these uncomfortable symptoms have usefulness. Mm-hmm. Now, back in the old days, when you got a fever, it just was miserable. And when you were sick, you had a fever. And the fever was the illness.
Right.
Yeah, and, who knows why it was being caused. It's after hundreds of thousands of years, eventually we figured out it was being caused by germs, mostly. Mm-hmm. Viruses and bacteria, viruses mostly. But, before then, you never knew what the heck it was. It could have been a hex from the local witch.
Right, yeah.
All you knew, you felt bad, you were sick, you were achy, you were miserable, you couldn't work, you had to lay around. It was a drag of a thing to do. And then in the late 1800s, they invented this stuff called aspirin. And aspirin has amazing ability to be able to shut the fever down, and you felt better. You get a fever, you take a couple aspirin, and then now you feel better. Maybe you can even go back to work, because you can actually do stuff.
Yeah.
And then what happened is people started to die. Now, not everybody. It's not like after you take aspirin and you die. It doesn't work that way at all. But if you are on the edge of using all your resources, to be able to survive an illness, and you take fever away, you've just weakened yourself in terms of your ability to fight. Mm-hmm. Because fever is there because it enhances our immune system.
Okay.
It gets it fighting better.
Yep.
Now, we have lots of extra capacity to be able to overcome illness. We don't go right to the edge every time. Well, we have lots more that we could bring in if we need to. And we usually don't have to because the illnesses aren't that bad. So if you take fever away, man, you got a lot of other, tools in the shed, so to speak, be able to get over the illness. So most of the time it comes out just fine. Occasionally, that's not the case. Occasionally, the organism is really such that you just need every tool in the shed that you have. I'd say, 30, 40 years, I can't remember exact dates, after aspirin was invented. It might have been a little bit more than that. Anyways, they had this horrible flu called the Spanish flu. And Spanish flu ended up killing millions of people. And one of the reasons why, it's speculated, it's hard to prove this definitively because it happened a long time ago, but one of the reasons why so many people died is because aspirin was available. Mm-hmm. And aspirin, people were shutting down their fever with aspirin. They're weakening their immune system, and then the virus just basically took over and killed them. So since then, we have changed our view on fever. Fever now is not the enemy. When you get sick, it's like the objective isn't to get rid of the fever. The objective is to dial the fever down.
Just a little bit, right? Not entirely.
Yeah, because if your fever gets too high, then itself becomes the danger. You get high enough fevers, you can get seizures, especially in kids.
Yeah.
You can get brain damage. If you get above 105,
Does that
106.
still occur in adults if it's above?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get a high enough fever, you can actually take damage from it, for sure. Your brain is particularly sensitive to the effects of the fever. And so it is worthwhile to dial it down. You're not really getting much more benefit from the fever. At that point, it's really your immune system's working as hard as it can already. And so you really don't need to crank the fever up anymore. Your rest of your body can handle fever pretty good, and it can get hotter than 105, 106, but your head really just can't. Your brain tissue is particularly sensitive to the effects of temperature. Mm-hmm. So if you could wrap your head in a cold towel, put an ice pack on your head,
or put a cold towel on your arteries,
on your neck, and get cool the blood coming in your head, your body can handle a lot more temperature. So there's some things that you can do, including just taking a little bit of aspirin. Mm-hmm. Maybe not taking a full dose, taking a half dose aspirin, getting the fever to come down. And so with some thought and with some experience, you can actually, adjust this instinct that we have, this natural ability that we have to be able to overcome illness and fine tune it.
Right.
So aspirin turns out to be a fabulous thing, super helpful in the right situation at the right dose. Now, since then, they've actually invented painkillers and anti-fever medications that work better than aspirin. Aspirin has the side effect of damaging your stomach when you take it, your digestive system. And the other ones do too, but they don't do it as much.
Does it have any effect on the liver?
A little, not much. Really, aspirin, if you're going to get high doses of aspirin, what it's going to affect is your digestive system, your kidneys, your ears.
Okay.
Those are the part.
Your
and also
ears?
you bleed more. Yeah, your ears. Yeah, your ears. You can get damage to your ears from high doses of aspirin. I mean, eventually it could kill you. It could be that bad that you can actually die from it. There are people. When I was a kid, there were kids that somehow got into aspirin, and they got into baby aspirin, and they ate the whole bottle, and they died because it tastes like candy.
Yeah, the little cherry tablets. Yep.
So it turned out to be a dangerous thing. That's one of the reasons why they invented child-proof caps. Keeps kids from getting into medications. Anyway, so let's talk about pain as a useful symptom.
Right.
Yeah. So
my body, and I actually have been doing a yoga challenge. So I've been doing yoga every single day with the studio that I go to. And what I notice now is my recovery time, it takes so much longer. I am sore for such a more long period of time. Now, I'm not giving myself very much rest because I'm doing yoga every day, but a few years ago, I could do yoga every day and not be sore for days on end like that.
Yep.
What is my body trying to tell me?
Yeah, that's the thing. Here's the thing, you're aging. Not that, talk about age. We're on different levels here for sure, no doubt.
But you're conditioned. You're.
Yeah, let me tell you what I noticed about aging. It's not what I expected. What I thought would happen is I would get weak, and I would get frail, and things would break, and that's not what's happened. I haven't done any of those things. What's actually happened is when I overdo it, it takes me a long time to get over. To recover from it. It turns out the recovery thing is the thing. That is literally what has declined, my ability to recover. Now, if you can't recover, then you can't do as much as you used to. And so over time, you do get a decline in muscle mass and strength, but it's secondary to the recovery.
Right.
That's the thing. And so I have to be more careful not to get hurt. Also, I have to be more careful to stay basically fit.
So, yeah, it's staying in a conditioned state, but also not pushing yourself?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So you got to push yourself. So you have to push yourself carefully. So it turns out to be more important. It's always been important. It's more important than ever for me to warm up. It's more important for me to do exercise before I do exercise.
And that's most of a lot of what I hear you telling our patients recently is that warm-up, that importance of that 10-minute warm-up every morning.
I didn't know how important it was. I mean, I didn't realize it's important to stretch and warm up.
Yeah.
I always know that. But I didn't realize how important. It turns out to be the most important of all the things that you can do to stay physically fit, to do 10 minutes worth of warm-up and stretching in the morning. Tai Chi is famous because it does that. It does it in 20 minutes instead of 10, but it does a better job. So Tai Chi is great. You learn the Tai Chi pattern, except for who does that? 1 in 100, 1 in 500. I mean, people aren't necessarily learning that in droves.
Yeah.
So, if you're willing to do it, you can't get better than that. That's an excellent way to do it. But there's also, yoga and calisthenics and Pilates and core and a zillion different ways to do stuff. And we just got to pick something, just the things you learned as a kid, in PE. And then you take those same exercises and you just simply run, 10 minutes worth of those gentle stretching warm-up things. Just have the consciousness that I'm warming my body up. Do something for your shoulders, something for your back, something for your abdomen, something for your hips, something for your legs. So you got to do a twist for sure.
Yeah.
I'm doing some balance stuff. I'm adding some balance stuff at the end, and it really helps. Whatever I work on, that's where I get my strength. That's what my body runs better for 10 minutes. We're not talking, half hour, 40 minutes worth of exercise. We're talking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, it gives you your basic fitness so that you don't get injured so well. And then what that also does is it sets you up, because you just feel better, to exercise. The chances you exercising goes up double by you doing the warm-up, because you're thinking, I feel good, let's go do something. Mm-hmm. It's like that. And when you feel bad, you want to do
your body is there. You're already to the point where you think that you can do the next thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about pain.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was like a side tangent.
No, good. This is good. You did exactly the right thing. This side thing, because we're always talking about how to live life well and how to be healthy.
Yeah.
You hit the nail right on the head.
Yep.
Now, let's get into the pain thing more. So this is, I'm going to say obvious things. Here's the obvious thing. When you got pain, your body's telling you that thing doesn't work right. Mm-hmm. So it's useful. It's like, okay, thank you. Now I know. I get knee pain. My knee's not working right. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to use it as much or at all, depending on how bad the pain is. If it's really bad, I'll go get a crutch and just kind of take the weight off it. Or I'll walk a little bit, but not very much. Or better yet, I'll pause for a moment and think, why? Why does my knee hurt? What happened here? Now sometimes it's obvious. It's like, oh yeah, I tripped and fell and whacked my knee on the cement. Mm-hmm. Now it's red and swollen. Okay. Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
I just got to give it time to heal, right?
Sure.
Hopefully
so the pain is a protection mechanism?
Yes, exactly. It's the thing that keeps you from overusing that bit that got damaged, giving it some time to heal. Duh. Okay, this is obvious. What you should do is
lay off.
Pay attention to the signals. Okay, now here's the thing that's weird is sometimes it doesn't work like that. Uh-huh. So let me tell you a story. It's a true story. This actually happened to me. I got involved with an organization called Team in Training, and they fundraise for leukemia and lymphoma. And they're a great organization. They're good people. They're active here in Fairbanks. They got all kinds of people that they help train to go run to fundraise for leukemia and lymphoma research and treatment too. And it was just a nice group of people. And so I wanted to support them. So I went to their meeting and I joined their training, and I went out running with them with the intention of running the Equinox Marathon.
Okay.
And then in the process of doing this training, I turned over my shoulder as I'm running. I went over my shoulder to talk to somebody, and something went cattywampus in my calf. My right calf felt like something, like a zipper went zzz. It felt like a zipper.
Oh, no.
And it's like, I was in pain. And then that was it. I'm done running. And I started walking in the other direction, back to where we started. And I walked back, and I just had this pain. Now, unfortunately, I had to leave the training program. And I learned a lot from this. I could say a lot about warm-up and so on and so forth. But let's just talk about the pain. The pain was here in my calf. Ow, ow, ow. That's where it hurts. Ow, ow, right there. And then I thought, well, I'm going to lay off the quick training, just do my life and just let it get better, like it did when I was a kid, right? Except for 5 weeks later, or was it 6? I'm step and dragging my leg, step, drag, step, drag. It was not one bit better, and nothing was getting better. But I could get around. I can kind of hobble. And then eventually my wife, who's just got a double dose of common sense, said, "You should get that fixed."
Or at least looked at.
Well, yeah, and I said, "Well, I'm too busy. I got all these patients. I'm doing stuff. I got these things going on at the time." And she says, "You have people who work for you. All you have to do is go downstairs. It'll take you 10 minutes. All right, I'll go. So I went downstairs and I talked to the chiropractor.
That was working in your clinic.
Working in my clinic.
Yep.
And I talked to the chiropractor, and she said, "Yeah, you got an injury right here. And what we should do is we should do some ultrasound on it, and we can do some of this, this arnica salve, and we can do maybe some massage, get some blood flowing, and, kind of a normal conversation, regular PT, kind of, get my muscle back together." I thought, yeah, sounds good. Sounds sensible. We should do that. Now, I also had a bunch of other people working for me at that point. I had like 14 people working for me. I had this massage therapist who was like a genius, and I knew it. And he had this gift to be able to tell what was going on. And so I went to go see him. Sean is his name. And I say, "Sean, I got a pain right here." And he says, okay, stand up. And he looked me up and down. He says, "That's not it. That's not your problem." And so he reaches over and he touches me right here with his thumb, like that. And it sent me to my knees. The pain was so bad. It was unbelievable. Now, that didn't hurt one bit until he touched it.
Back in
the pain
your
was
calf.
in the back, and he's touching in the front. And he said, "This is your problem.
Yeah.
This muscle here in the front is as tight as a bowstring in compensation for your shoes. Your shoes are wrong. They're tipping you forward. Your posture's all screwed up, and your body's compensating. You were a bomb waiting to go off. It doesn't matter. Whatever you were going to do, you were going to hurt that calf because of the tension that was going on in the front. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to rub this thing. Then I want you to walk up and down the hall for 2 minutes.
And it would loosen it in the front.
2 minutes. Walk them down the hall. We had a hall. Walk down the hall. Count it. 2 minutes. And then you need to throw away your shoes. You need to get shoes that have lower heel. Your heel's built up too much. And they were just normal shoes. They were nice shoes. They were Merrell's. And so I said, okay, fine. And I, I didn't throw my shoes away, put them away, because they were perfectly good shoes. I'm not going to throw these shoes away. I just put them away. And he fixed me in 5 minutes. And I was done. I had no pain, nothing. There was nothing to do. There was no ultrasound needed. I had nothing that needed to be treated whatsoever. I was cured.
So the pain you were feeling in your calf was really ultimately protecting the pain that you had from your shin.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Well, I had always kind of known that your body will fail in certain aspects to compensate for actually another failure.
Yep.
Like, I have hip problems. I have IT band problems. And what that is the IT band is connected to your hips, so you have to have good posture when you're doing all of these movements, like running, like lifting. So
yeah,
I've experienced
common
it.
problem. And the IT band pulls on your hip, and it pulls on your leg, and then it pulls on your spine and your neck.
Band, then you have poor sciatic.
And you got this pain in the back of your head.
Yep.
Seriously, it goes like that.
Yep.
Turns out the ankle bone's connected to the knee bone bone's connected to the hip bone, and all the bones are all connected.
Yeah.
And then you pull on something and something else goes screwy. Isn't it interesting how pain, as useful as it is, occasionally gives us the wrong information?
Right.
So how do you figure this out? That my answer is outside eyes. You got to find somebody who's got outside eyes. Now, these people do exist. They're not common. Sean's certainly not the only one I've ever met. I can think of 2 or 3 other people who can do the same trick. Now, they have the ability to look you up and down. I don't know how they do it. I think they just are good observers. And then there's probably some kind of training you can do. I think it's called kinesiology or Rolfing or who knows what it's called.
Yeah.
There's folks who come from different backgrounds to be able to see
Kinesiology
this
sounds
thing. And then they are
right.
able to actually see what's going on and unravel the pattern, because there's these patterns that show up. And part of it just comes from experience.
Yeah.
If you just work with people for 10
athletes.
years or 15 years, eventually you start seeing the same thing over and over again. And you realize this calf pain turns out to be a thing with the peroneus muscle, right? The peroneus muscle is under tension, and you're going to fix it that way. Let me back up the story a little bit, just because it's interesting. He cured me in 5 minutes, but that's not the end of the story, because 5 months later, I went on a trip back east to go visit my son, And since I was traveling on an airplane, I wore slip-on shoes because it makes it easier to go through security. Those same exact slip-on shoes that he told me to throw away. I dug them out of storage, put them on, and said, come on, 5 months, I don't have any problem. These shoes don't mean anything.
It won't hurt.
He was just making
right.
stuff up. I don't know, it doesn't mean anything. And it was 2 days later that the pain came back. And not only did it come back, it came back worse than it was when it was there to begin with. It came back in droves. In fact, that was the trip where all I wanted to talk about is how much pain I was in.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went and every family member I talked to, I said, how you doing, Scott? I got this pain in my leg. It's horrible. It's killing me. When I got back, I literally threw the shoes away and then have never worn any shoes like that again. What I switched over to wearing is these shoes that have no heel, and they're basically flat on the ground. And they work great. I haven't had that problem since. It really is. It's just not a problem anymore. It just went away. Changing my posture by changing my shoes turned out to be this fabulous thing for me to do. So it's interesting to me. Here's more than anything. It's interesting. Number one is symptoms are not our enemy.
Yeah.
They are our friends.
Yeah.
We don't want that many friends
No.
that are like...
No, we don't. I can, as we talk about this, I can think back in the past week and in these yoga postures that I'm holding. And when I'm doing a forward lunge and I'm raising my hands, it kills my low back. But if I just lift my chest up a little bit, then my low back is protected.
Interesting.
And I'm not feeling that pain anymore.
Yeah.
And then I can hold it for so much longer.
There it is, pain's your friend.
Yep.
Telling you what to do. You're getting that feedback. And then the good news is you have somebody in the class, the teacher comes around and sees you doing the thing, and then they touch your...
they tell you, lift it.
Right.
Yep.
I remember the teacher telling me, he said, imagine there's a string that attaches to your chest and it's pulling up, towards the ceiling.
Oh,
it works!
Yeah. And then you feel it engage in so many different areas. Yeah.
What a fun project.
Very.
This thing where you learn how your body works and you kind of get a sense of it from the inside. So if I got that pain in my calf now, the first thing I would think about is this thing in the front of my leg. It would be, because I've got the experience
And
now.
then what shoes you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the other thing. Except for I got rid of all those shoes. I don't wear shoes with heels anymore. I just don't. With the exception of my 40 below boots. But I'm tromping around in the snow. It doesn't seem to make any difference.
Yeah, those are, you gotta...
I'm not wearing them to work. I'll tell you
Right,
that.
those aren't every day.
Yeah.
I tromped around in bunny boots out at Tolvana Hot Springs the other week, and oh my gosh, it was so hard. I was just taking a 10-minute walk to the tubs and lugging those boots around. I could feel it all the way up my leg, all the way up my quad.
So everybody in Alaska knows exactly what bunny boots are.
Yeah.
And I doubt anybody in the Southlands know what bunny boots are. You should.
Take
Somebody
a quick
in Texas
Google.
is looking at this thing.
Yeah, take a quick Google, look into bunny boots. They're the most classic, quintessential Alaskan outdoor boots.
Yeah, they're a rubber boot
Yep.
inside of a rubber boot.
Yep.
And then there's
They're
an
probably
air
like
pockets.
10-pound boots.
They're heavy for sure.
Yes.
And they're very, very good insulators.
Yes.
They keep your feet warm.
I have never had a warmer pair of boots in my life.
Sure enough. And they're cheap too. The Army used them.
Yeah, well,
I mean, compared
now
to the
they're not
$140.
so much anymore. So the new bunny boots are like $349.
No kidding?
Yep. And when you look for old school military grade bunny boots, they're not making them anymore. So people are jacking up those prices. Luckily, I have a very small foot size that not many people are looking for. So I was on Facebook Marketplace last year, and I got mine for $60. But usually,
Wow. Way more
anybody
than I thought.
with normal sized feet are looking at $100, $200, and if you want to get the new ones, $350.
Well, it's cheap when you consider frostbite being an alternative.
Oh,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
And so for us here in the north, it really pays for us to have a good pair of boots. All right, so how much time do we got?
Got about 5 minutes.
Okay, so let me go back to this pain thing. In medical school, we learned that pain, a lot of times the wires are screwed up. Now, part of the problem with pain is if you got like a foot problem or an ankle problem or a knee problem, it's pretty direct because your body knows that it's your foot, your ankle, your knee. The wires are real wired up correctly. But if it's your liver, what what nerves go to your liver? I mean, you ever feel your liver? I mean, it's not a thing you normally...
Or your kidneys.
Or your kidneys,
Like,
or...
if people are feeling kidney pain,
That's right.
I've felt that.
You don't always know where it's
or,
coming
like,
from.
spleen pain. People
Yeah.
who have, like, gallbladder issues, they feel pain.
It's confusing for your body to be able to tell your brain where it's coming from. So when you get liver pain, it's very likely that what your brain will do is misplace the pain. What you'll feel is pain in your shoulder, in your right shoulder, and it's not your shoulder. It has
It's your
nothing to do
liver?
with the shoulder. Literally, your brain just gets confused because your brain's taking information, tinkle, 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 and it's coming up the nerves. And this weird nerve that hardly ever gets used, right? Because, wow, where's this coming from? And so what it does is it misappropriates that information and then maps it to the wrong part of your body. And so what you'll do is you'll feel the pain in your shoulder, but where it's really coming from is here in your liver. Mm-hmm. And so this is famous. This is famous enough that when you go to medical school, they teach you this. When somebody comes in and they have right shoulder pain, consider the possibility that could be a liver causing it.
What about tummy pain? What about
That's
a
another
tummy
one.
ache?
That's another one. That's another classic one. If somebody comes in with stomach problems, think heart attack.
Really?
It's the same nerve. Literally the same nerve. The nerve that connects your brain to your stomach is the exact same nerve that connects your brain to your heart. Same. And so it's easy to get confused because those two tracks are lying right next to each other. They're coming up in the same bundle. And so your brain just misappropriates information and puts it in the wrong spot. So you get a stomach ache, actually turns out your heart is acting up. Or you get heart pain and your stomach places the
stomach.
I forget the word, whatever it is. There's another word for this, but it says it gives you your brain says it's come from the wrong spot. And so it's okay. I mean, if you
So
know
how
this,
would you even think to look at a heart if somebody came in like, oh, I've been having stomach cramps for months and months?
Because you went to medical school?
Really?
That's seriously. First thing I think of.
Me as a patient, if I sat down in a doctor's office and was like, hey, I'm having cramps and I'm having stomach pain, and they were like, okay, let's do an EKG,
Yes.
I would be like, why?
Yeah, and I would say because you got one nerve, it's called your vagus nerve, and it's carrying all that information from your guts and your heart up to your brain, and it doesn't really know where it is because it doesn't get a chance to work it out a lot. Now with your hands, you're touching stuff all the time, so you get all this feedback. And so your ability to be able to place exactly where on your fingers the information's come from is amazing. And it's within, a quarter inch or eighth inch or 16 inch, depending on where you're poking your hand, how you can discern it's this spot as opposed to this spot. Try that same trick on your back, and there's places on your back you can't even feel it. You take a needle, and then you take another needle, and you put them together, and then you have to say, is that 2 or is that 1? On your finger, you can't hardly get the needles close enough together to be able to tell that's 2 as opposed to 1.
Right.
On your back, you can run them as far apart as, quarter inch, and you can't tell. I don't know. 1? 2? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't feel it because you don't really need that. Now, your back is on the outside, so your body's using that information all the time still because, you're leaning against things and having clothes on, but you're not feeling your way through the world by rubbing your back up against things. You're using your hands and your feet. And your face, or your lips, right? Because you're interacting with your environment. Now, with your liver, more so. I mean, is it on the right side of your liver or on the left side of your liver? Who the heck knows? Your body doesn't discern like that. What a waste of time to put that much discernment into it. I mean, how many times do you ever interact with the world with your liver? Mm-hmm. Rarely,
right.
Unless you're exploring the depths of tequila. Then your liver becomes a sense organ.
Right, yeah. Then it's very aware.
The next day, yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, it does not use very much. And so your brain it's not very good to be able to figure it out. So this sensory input that you get is super important. Do not ignore it. Pay attention to it. You will learn so much about your body. You will be able to live healthier and better. Be really by paying attention to these unpleasant things. That's the main thing I'm trying to say is it's worthwhile to pay attention to the stuff you don't want to pay attention to because it hurts. You'd rather just take a pill and get rid of it. You take a couple of Vicodins or a Percocet, man, suddenly life is better. Except for it's not. Better in the short run, worse in the long run. No. Pay attention to your pain. Feel it. Figure it out.
Dr. Luper, we're out of time.
Okay.
But you helped us with our liver problems and our planners. So, thank you.
Hey, Haley, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sensible Health Solutions. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and packed with practical tips to enhance your wellness journey. Remember, small changes can lead to big results. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us bring you the best content possible. Stay connected with us on social media for more health insights and updates. You can find us at Sensible Health Solutions across all social platforms. Until next time, stay sensible and stay healthy. This content is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Seek medical advice from a healthcare professional for any medical conditions.